Hi everyone, it's Tanya from Tanya Kraus Horsemanship here, and you are joining me for episode 3 of the Millie Diaries. So as you can see, I've got Rip here and Millie is here. She's just underneath him. She's actually smelling the halter that's in my hand. You can see that they're obviously pretty comfortable coming up today, and as I said, you can't see it because she's rubbing on it, but I know if I step any further backwards that they're just going to come in front of the shop and you won't see anything at all. So you know, again today I'm just going to build on yesterday, see how far we get with her. Obviously she's way more confident this morning. She's not even thinking about walking away or anything like that. She's sort of come straight up with her nose and touched it with the halter. Probably beginning to expect that that's obviously what I'm going to do, is put the halter on. So I'm just going to get my lead sorted out here. I like to have my lead draped over my arm, so when I put the halter on, I'll demonstrate that in a minute. She's actually stepping forward, you would have just seen that. I just got all the halter and lead and everything prepped, and she sort of stepped forward to almost put me in position here. So I'm really excited about that. And there, not very much tipping of the head away, obviously. Once I got the nose piece on, she tipped her nose away. So I'll just back her up a little bit. I'll just lead them around, see if I can get them in shot. Yeah, so as I was saying, good. I just don't want his hip towards me in case he decides to kick out at her or something like that. So as I was saying, before I put the halter on, I like to actually have the rein looped and over my arm like this. I would do that with any horse, but particularly with a young horse or with a colt or something like that. This horse has actually had, Millie as in, has actually had an incident where she... I was lunging her, and I actually was lunging her. She's really soft, so when we start to move her around, you'll be able to see that in the future episodes. She's actually really soft, and I made the mistake of having my hand fairly open on the lead, and she was out at the end of the lead. I had my hand open like this, and sort of she stumbled, and it caused the lead to come out of my hand. And when the lead hit the ground, of course it started chasing her because she was in a trot, and we had a bit of a situation for a little while. So she's had an incident where the rope's been chasing her. Now we do a lot of work with that as part of the colt starting or the young horse starting course that she has been a part of. But because she'd had time off in between times, there was obviously that, you know, that area where, you know, she just wasn't expecting it, wasn't ready. There was a bit of a startle, and then by then it was too late. And luckily she didn't go through any fences or anything like that, but it could have really been a bad situation. But with any horse, I'm going to have the lead over my arm like this. You want to make sure it's not wrapped around you, so if she really pulled back, I'm not going to get dragged. But I like to have the rope up off the ground, out of the way. I've got my two hands so I can do the halter, and because what I don't want to do is have the lead on the ground like this, and then when I start to put the halter on, it drags towards her, and if she sort of pulled back and started dragging it, I wouldn't necessarily be able to catch it in time if she really committed to sort of getting away from it. So you'll see in future episodes, I'm really excited about sharing this with you guys, because you'll see what little exercises I do to help her get more confident in that regard. She feels great today. She's really soft. She's not, you know, she's not sort of holding her breath or anything like that. She's still that little bit tight in the mouth and that little bit worried in the eye, but she's definitely a lot less tense than she has been on previous days. So today is a day where I've got absolutely no time. I'm actually running a little bit late. I've got a clinic starting today. It's Saturday. And I need to go down and catch Cooper, get him on the trailer, and get over to the showgrounds. So I really wanted to film this because you'll see my energy is going to be a little bit higher, even though I'm working really hard to stay calm and be present in the moment. But in the back of my mind, I've been sort of running around all morning, getting the trailer packed, getting everything organised. And so I thought, oh, I'll come at lunchtime and do it because I'm doing a local clinic. But then I thought, no, I really want to see if I can get this done, you know, before I head off. And yeah, that's really nice. So because I am on a limited time frame, I really don't want to start anything that I can't finish, but sometimes just standing here and letting her drop in and really ignoring her, you know, I'm talking to you guys on camera, so really ignoring her and not sort of being intense or asking her to do anything is a session in itself. It's a really valuable investment. So I'm just going to take a little bend in her. You can see there, well you can't see now because Rip's decided to be in front, but what I do try to do, you can hear that little tense, maybe you can hear that little tense half sort of snort that she just did. It wasn't a snort, it was an inhale. But you know, she is that little bit tight, but not as she has been in previous days. So today, because I've got limited time, I'm just going to work on this worming situation. So good. So yesterday I was just touching the side of her mouth. Today I just tried to put my thumb in the corner of her mouth, and she wasn't completely fascinated by that. And you could see that I'm just going to try and wait there until she stops walking backwards and stops. Yeah, that was better. I don't want her to walk backwards, and I don't want her to pull away, because obviously once I've got a wormer in my hand, you know, I don't need to be sort of chasing her with the wormer. So if she can just get that little bit, if she can just get that little bit more confident. Good girl. That was really nice. I'm actually really happy with that. I'm happy to quit. I think she can hear a cow maybe just called out. But, you know, I picked something really small like that wormer. You know, I want to get her wormed because she, as I said, you know, she had a pretty natural upbringing. She wasn't wormed. She would have got wormed just prior to the young horse starting. And then we sort of turned her out. So I'm really keen to get her wormed, but I am very, I'm really, I have to find the balance between hurry up and worm her, because obviously, you know, she's not absorbing nutrients and things like that if she is wormy, which looking at her condition, I would say that she is. But I also, one, don't want to make it a terrible experience for her, so I don't want this to be the pattern of future worming. I've dealt with lots of horses that are terrible to worm, and it's actually it's really quite frustrating. So you can see there she was nuzzling at my boot, and I just touched her on the neck and she had a little bit of a start, but I like that she didn't move her feet. But the other thing that I'm very aware of is that because I've brought these two horses in from a big paddock that has a great big dam in it as a water source, they're actually drinking town water here, and they're not too fussed on the town water, so they're not drinking as much as I would want them to. So in terms of, I don't want to worm her until I know that she's, you know, well hydrated, she's not dehydrated, because if she does have, you know, a lot of worms in there and we worm her and then she ends up with a lot of dead worms inside her, if she's not drinking and she's a little bit dehydrated, that could potentially cause a blockage or some issues later on, you know, within that sort of 24 hours after being wormed. So I am really trying to, one, work towards getting her more handleable about the mouth so it's not a big deal, but two, I'm really waiting for the town water to become a normal water source for them, and I want to see them drinking a lot more than they have been. So that's where we are today. Thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you in session number 4.